It's the Full Force News Burst, proudly brought to you by Battle Action Force, the Treasury editions. I am your host, Christopher McLeod, aka Diagnostic 80. Now let's get into the news. Full force indeed. Welcome to the show. This Sunday, February the 1st, and happy G.I Joe Day. Is it a bit overkill? See what I did there? Is it a bit overkill? G.I Joe, G.I Joe. Yeah, it's everywhere, isn't it? Happy G.I Joe Day to everyone in the chat. Quite a few of you here already, which is awesome. Hello and welcome. Couple of things before I move on. I will not be doing a Patreon Q&A today because this is just going to take up most of the late afternoon or mid-afternoon or whatever it is now. I don't even know. This is going to take up most of my time, unfortunately, guys. So no Patreon today, but I will do something in the week for you guys. Okay, so we're doing this today because we've had massive amounts of reveals, and it means listings have been unlocked, which is awesome as well. So lots to get into, lots of updated graphics. I've been rapidly trying to put all this together as well as look at everything because hot damn, they dropped a lot today on G.I Joe Day. Now, just before we move on, let's have a quick history lesson. So G.I Joe Day, the 1st of Feb, is what they've kind of decided on what G.I Joe Day is, seeing as that was the I believe that was the specific date that G.I Joe, not Action Man, that G.I Joe was revealed to the world at Toy Fair. So that became G.I Joe Day. And they started really doing it, I would say, like, was it 22, 23? They might have done it a couple of times. I mean, there was always that post that was going around of like, it's G.I Joe Day because it's February the 1st, but they never really did anything with it. The last 3 years they have done, though, and we've been getting these kind of on the day render reveals dropped in anticipation of a live event that usually follows, and in this particular case that's going to be Toy Fair, it would appear, on the 14th of Feb, which I will be at, and I will be talking from Toy Fair, doing lots of chat on the floor, in interviews and that, and getting images and footage of all of the new product in hand as well. So there you go. That is so I noticed a few comments of people saying, are we not doing live streams anymore? Why did they randomly drop on a Sunday? It's because it's Joe Day. The 1st of Feb is G.I Joe Day, and it just happened to fall on a Sunday this time. And for the last 3 years, they've been dropping renders only as social posts on Joe Day. So anyway, so that's that. Now, will there be more to come between now and the 14th? I would probably assume we might see something, because we have obviously a bit of information to get into on what's been revealed today, and it does leave a few questions. And obviously, we've also had a little bit of official confirmation from the team regarding some of the details about some of these figures as well. So I will be filling you all in as best I can. Kitty said, should we get into it? Let's just get into it, because I know you're chomping at the bit to see all the cool stuff that's been revealed today. Yeah, it's been a lot. They dropped 7, count them, 7 render reveals for 8 figures. Yeah, because there's a 2-pack in one of them, and 1 vehicle, may I add, which is pretty dope. And yeah, we've got some mainline figures. We've got Fanmazon, we've got Target, and I will explain what they all are. If you haven't been paying attention to all of the listings info over the years, or the last year at least, then I will be getting into that, as much as I can. Right then, just checking out some of the comments just in case I'm missing anything. It doesn't seem to be. Yes, Ed, I will get to that. I will get to that little element in a little while. We'll go through each one by one, and you guys, I'll try and catch the comments as they come through. But obviously, I can't I'm not going to get to everything, unfortunately, but I'll do my best. All right. And I guess today is going to be quite a busy one because I think, everyone's excited. The Joe Day reveals have happened. So let's get stuck in. We'll start off with the first figure that actually appears in order. We'll do this in order of like the listings that we have information for. And we'll start with Airtight. Now, he was a highly anticipated figure. I personally, have been waiting for this one since day one, really. He's been a huge favorite of mine. Obviously, he was massive in the Action Force kind of international heroes period for me. So I was like extraordinarily happy to get Airtight. And now I can have my Airtight barbecue combination that I've been wanting to kind of have for the longest time. And I think they've done a cracking job on him. I mean, let's face it, it is a literal OG. You like, it's very close to the original. So close. I think maybe the knee pads, and that's really it. I mean, everything else is very much the OG Airtight, which is absolutely cool with me. Now, the main question that everyone seems to be having around this particular figure is the helmet removable? And yes, it is. We've had confirmation the helmet is removable, so we'll have the Widow's Peak on show, I hope. I'd like to see, actually interested to see what they do with the head sculpt on that one. But I mean, it's only really been the Sunbow cartoon. I mean, yeah, we've had action figures, of course, but the modern 30th, he had the sort of SAS Eagle sort of like head covering underneath the helmet, didn't he? So will they do that, or will we get the Widow's Peak kind of classic head sculpt? That I don't know, but fingers crossed they do have a sort of. But then again, they could have gone that sort of like 30th route. I think it was 30th, wasn't it? Airtight was in. I don't think it was. Yeah, I think it was 30th. The Airtight fit. No, it was Renegades, wasn't it? Technically it was a Renegades release, right? Because it was Renegades artwork. So maybe it was Renegades 30th. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not important. What's important is that particular figure had sort of like a head covering underneath. So they may have gone that route just to get the helmet on, or they might have given us what we really want in the same way they gave us a wetsuit with a free kind of flowing curls. I hope we get the same for Airtight. In any case, if we zoom in, can you see on the side? It looks like it's hard to say, hard to really see from that kind of, from what we can see with the eyes. I'm hoping that we get, some sort of like, well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see the figure in hand, I imagine, on the 14th, or maybe even before. But I'm hoping that when we do that, I'm really excited for it. But Toy Fair on that Saturday, I'm hoping we see all of all of these figures like in physical form, which is what we've come to expect, honestly. Anyway, Ed says Airtight, stupid neon 90s Joes. This guy's a pencil neck geek, and I'm really happy to see him. He looks awesome. I love the little details as well on the little tampos, that sort of like little dial, and then of course that little bit of writing which says, is it indecisive? It's hard, it might be impossible to see from the render, but I'm going to zoom in, and yeah, it's literally, I don't know what I'm saying, like it's actual text you can read. It's funny. It actually looks clearer on my screen than it does when I zoom in on my phone here. But yeah, it's just lines and kind of dots. So it's nothing, unless there might be something written on there. I don't know, but as in, on the real figure, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be those little just blue and white kind of like lines and dots, basically. White says, while the figure looks good, I'm a little disappointed he's not classified up. Looks a little more like he should be on a retro card. That's not a bad shout, actually. Like they've kind of shot themselves in the foot here by making Airtight a mainline wave figure and making him so retro. Yeah, I do. Does that mean we're probably not going to get a retro of Airtight? I'd have to probably say, yeah. I don't see them doing a retro of Airtight because this figure has and if we go through the figure, we'll see all the accessories. He's got the weird weapon, not a weapon. It's is it some? It's like not a vacuum cleaner, but it does what's the word? It sort of, doesn't it like clean the toxicity in the air? I want to say it's there to sort of like make the hostile environment less hostile. But he's got that. He's got the backpack, which is full on retro backpack perfection. He's got the little cable as well, the hose, which clips into the backpack, I'm imagining, and then clips into the back of the helmet, just like the original does. From what we can see on here, that's exactly what it looks like it's doing. It's plugging into the helmet at the back, and then the kind of pipe is just on the top of the backpack, is just locking into the little, I imagine there's a little C grip in there that just it plops into, just like the original. So yeah, so I think they have shot themselves in the foot a little bit with making him so retro that there's just no real recourse. Now that doesn't obviously, it does mean that there's the Tiger Force Airtight or our Puro redeco they can do, which would be amazing. And he gets a pistol as well, which was nice. So there you go. So there you go. He is and I'll just go back to the actual figure. He is definitely an absolute belter for me, and this is, I'm really happy. Yes, he is a removable helmet for those that have just joined. It is 100,012%, the exact percentage, a removable helmet, confirmed by the team. Okay, cools. Paul says the retro line is just not large enough to get retro versions of everyone unless they go from 9 a year to 27 or something like that. Yeah, totally. I just feel like this would have been a really beauty. This would have been a cracker on a retro card. Right. Yes. So anyway, that's Airtight. Very excited for this one. And again, really happy to get him in the line. Moving on. And we have the next in line on the listings, the Hydro Viper, and I am absolutely stoked for this one. Couple of things I will say. Actually, let's talk about the overall first and foremost. A lot of gear with this one, and everything you'd expect the figure to come with. A slightly smaller harpoon weapon, which I think they're looking at the card art here, and I'm really happy about that because for one, it means we can get storage for not just the jaggedy lightning knife, which is incredible, but also that smaller harpoon weapon, right? So phenomenal. Again, no notes there. I'm really happy that we've got storage on the leg and the calf, for the thigh and the calf, for those particular accessories. So straight off the bat, this has got all the storage you need, and great. Backpack, very classic to the original. Of course, he's got an animal companion in the Devil Ray, which looks really cute, and I'll be interested to see sort of what, if it's just like a little rubber sort. Do you know what I mean? Like just like a little rubber kind of creature, or if there's something else going on there. But I'm pretty sure it's probably just a little slug of a figure. Either way, I'm happy with that, and I think I'm gonna have to get a few of these bad boys, right? A couple of other things to mention, and we'll do sort of close-ups as well. The helmet, very card art oriented and styled, more so than the actual helmet the figure came with, and the flippers, not even close to wetsuits. So here was us, or here was me at least, thinking that the wetsuits flippers were like a pre-tool of the Hydro Viper. Not even close. So love it. Absolutely love it. My only concern, I don't really have not really a concern, but my only little thing that I would have changed or added. Now here we get close up at the actual figure. The eyes look really cool. Now, what I like about this is that we know the Hydro Vipers are biomechanically enhanced in multiple ways. We've got lots of different elements, sort of like poured into this one, with like webbed fingers for, that are kind of actually surgically created. You've got what's the other ones they did? They did that thing where they make it so they have subcutaneous fat that allows them to go deeper and dive deeper, and deal with sort of like the the sort of harshness of pressure, and in diving and what have you. So there's so many different little elements they added to the file card on this one that I absolutely adore. That make it so that the guy is not properly all there. And if you look at the eyes, there's a real sort of there's a problem there. There's experimentation has gone on with this guy. So I love that they've done that. There's a lot of new on this as well. So much new. Now, only one webbed hand and one sea grip kind of weapon situation, which this is the only thing I would say I think they should have incorporated at least one alternate hand on the left, just to give us the opportunity to wield both weapons at once, or maybe even just both hands being webbed would have been kind of cool as well. So I'm assuming from the render this is everything that he comes with. That they might have alternate hands that they've kind of popped in there as well, but I do think they should have given him an alternate lefty as well, just to kind of make it like another C grip, because I feel like that's missing out. They're missing out there a little bit. Well, we're missing out on the Hydro Viper. But again, lovely details on this. That the webbed hand looks great. The gauntlets look really cool as well. It does look like Torpedo's legs, doesn't it? I think to a degree. I want to say, but there's so much like new on here. Like the secondary is really cool. If we go back there again, like they've given that sort of like a darker color, much like again the card art and the figure that is on the what do you call it? It was on the sort of like I'm gonna go back the catalog. It was in a catalog, like Toy Fair catalog, actually, I think. Is Annie joining the chat? Hi, honey. You want to join the chat, do you? Do you want to talk about the Hydro Viper? I know it's got a little animal companion, much like myself now. Thank you. Am I getting kisses yeah, getting kisses? Okay. Annie says hi, guys. So yeah, really excited for that as I get kissed in my mouth. Lovely stuff. How are you doing? Are you good? Are you good? I'm glad. Annie loves to get on this show. She's been on loads of episodes. Happy G.I Joe Day, Annie. Yeah, she said it back. She said it back in her way. So yeah. So anyway, looking at the legs, the lower legs might be different to Torpedo's, but I'm not sure. I'd have to have a look at the lower legs of Torpedo, because those feet look different and they've got texture on them. So I'm almost certain they're different, or maybe I don't know. And also the calves look proper thick, don't they? They've been working those calves out. Anyway, so that is the Hydro Viper from head to toe. Again, love that they've gone this direction with the deco as well. Love the color on this one. Phenomenal stuff. And the Devil Ray, look, there you go. Look, Annie. Look, there's the Devil Ray. I know you're a good girl. I know you just licked the food out of my beard. That's fine. Ankles down in you, says Ed. That makes sense because they're textured. So yeah, that makes sense. Love the Devil Ray. Could it have been bigger? Possibly, but obviously they're making this they're trying to balance this one to be a Baracus. No, to be a mainline single figure. So you done? Okay. Annie's going to say bye. Bye, sweetie pie. Mwah, love you. Okay, go get mommy. Go get her. Go on. So anyway, yeah, I think I want it to be like a little rubbery sort of texture, but it's hard to see what sort of details are on based on the render. If you zoom in and really crank the brightness up, there are details down the middle here, like kind of sort of like lines and little kind of like elements and stuff. So there's definitely detail on that. It's not just like a lump of black plastic or whatever. But yeah, I think obviously there's a balance going on here as to trying to make them affordable, but that sort of lowest tier, as low as it can go, single mainline figure. And I think that's for the best, because I'm going to want a couple of these for sure. Then, of course, we have the helmet, which is absolutely stunning and looks absolutely spot on to the card art. Now, the card art by Earl Norham is one of my all-time favorite pieces of art on the G.I. Joe, in the G.I. Joe brand. and I absolutely just like love that piece of work, especially the fact that he's kind of made it so that it looks like it's underwater with that sort of like a little bit out of, like a little bit phased, a little bit sort of blurry, around the lower leg sort of area. The ray obviously is in the foreground, and then of course you've got all the, like, you know, the fact that they've got the harpoon gun on the leg, which obviously couldn't happen on the figure because it was the weapon was too large and wouldn't have made sense for the leg, I guess. But I don't know. I'm just totally into this. I prefer this look to what could have been looking at the action figure itself. Now, as I do love that action figure helmet, by the way, and I wonder if there's a possibility down the road of getting retro versions of the Hydro Viper with that sort of more toyetic helmet, that more toy style helmet, which again is really cool. But I'm loving the fact they went card art on this one. I genuinely am. And like I said, there's being such a huge fan of that Al Norum card art, the fact that we've got this on the figure is just next level. The yellow dots in the eyes, the little yellow kind of like almost like the point of the tail of the devil ray, but as a little yellow kind of part. Just lovely touches. It's a proper terrifying mask, and I'm absolutely here for it. If they ever did this, yes, figure six pack, they need to do this in sort of like a Modern Icons or Trick or Treat Studios vibe, because I'd be all over that. Hot damn. I mean, they wouldn't sell many, would they? Because it would just be so random and niche, but hot damn. Anyway, so that is the helmet. Again, spot on. And the flippers. Did I think they were going to go this direction? No. Did I want them to? Absolutely. So the fact that we've got wetsuits flippers, which now, with this context, are just cool modern flippers, like this, or these are the exact dragon toe feet that I wanted on my Hydro Viper. So the fact they've gone and done it is just mental. Absolutely mental. I'm here for this, and I think for those that are a little underwhelmed maybe of the render, when all of this is put together, I think you're going to be absolutely pants wettingly happy about. I mean, I'm already. I mean, I think the render looks dope. I've just seen a few comments saying that they weren't too like blown away by it, but I am. The more I look at this, actually, the more excited I get for the Hydro Viper. You know this thing's going to look insane on that display on the 14th. You know it. Anyway, phenomenal stuff. Love it. Love these flippers, and the Hydro Viper is amazing. And just a close up of the backpack as well, and the other two accessories, the sort of kind of mini harpoon and the jagged lightning knife, as I call it. Yes, we can dig it, figure six pack. Oh, I'm buying multiples regardless of vest color. Lol. Yeah, like I said, I think I like the fact they've done the darker vest. I really do. It's sort of like, again, it's really it's tying it to that card art in a way that makes me so happy. But anyway, lovely weapons, lovely accessories, and I'm down. I'm absolutely down for the Hydro Viper, guys. Can you tell? And then we have Overkill. Now, Overkill. What questions do thine have regarding Overkill? Does the chest open up? Let's have a look at the close-up here. Yes, it does, and it has been confirmed. You can see the two hinges there in much the same way as we sort of premised how the snake armor would open when we zoomed in on the render, but we have actually had confirmation the chest does open up. And from that, from that kind of look, the split is in the middle, the hinges are at an angle, so it probably opens up sort of like that, so that the chest can have the attachments attached to it. Now, am I happy with this? I've got to admit, guys, I am. The only thing I would say is exactly what Scott Skeena said: no backpack. And of course, I mean, the backpack that Overkill had was a talking battle commanders one, which, I get it, but it would have been nice to have something a little bit more, maybe scaled down, obviously not as ridiculous. I would have been happy, obviously, with that. They've sort of gone a sort of like different route, making Overkill a kind of hench giant sort of version 3 bat, I think they call it. And then he's obviously a bat commander sort of at that point. But I've got to admit, I love what they've done with it. I love the deco. I love the fact they haven't really held back on the color here, because Overkill was just a ridiculous out there kind of color scheme. But I don't know. I'm quite happy that they haven't backed away from the color on that. Paul says he's going to look so good with a wash and some dry brushing. Figure Six Pack says it'll open up like Buttons McBoom Boom and the Guyver Bio Booster armor. Yes, it will. This is a definite Buttons McBoom Boom scenario. And then, of course, the chonky old legs here in this kind of like bronze kind of look. It's very, very cool. And yeah, again, I think this is a dope figure. And gear-wise, all these different attachments, I imagine, plug in not only to his hands, like the little claw that I think is articulated to, and the knife, but then also that kind of weapon as well, that sort of like shoulder mount Predator style, and also the giant gun that he comes with. I wonder if that plugs in to his open chest. In any case, yeah, kind of excited to see this one in hand as well. Let's just go back to the main. Yeah, go back to the main one just to kind of see the overview. Again, they've gone hench. I'm excited to see all these, like how this stuff interacts with him. And I know that a lot of people are happy with this one. I know a lot of people aren't. It's kind of like a mixed bag on Overkill. And I think that's just in general Overkill anyway. I think some people are really into him and some people just don't care. Anyway. But yeah, I'm feeling Overkill, Kitty said. Luke says, I don't understand how a droid can be leader of another droids. Well, he's actually a cyborg originally, isn't he? He's kind of like he's more machine than man. No, he's got a bit of man in him in terms of the bio sort of card. I don't know how they're going to explain that in the narrative with this one, but I expect there'll be more information to come on that one, Luke. So I imagine he'll be a cyborg more than a bat. Anyway, some people are hard pass, some people are really into it. It's all good. Yeah, you can see a human eye in the head sculpt. Let's have a look at that. There you go. So you've got human eye in one side and crazy robot eye in the other. Yeah, you can if you zoom in, you really can see a human eye there. So there's definitely cyborg elements to Overkill. Okay, lovely stuff. Just zooming through those little parts. Then we got this mysterious character. Now, I saw a lot of people saying, well, it must be the Wild Bill that was leaked recently. No. Wild Bill is a retro release. This is not the retro Wild Bill that they're showing you right now. This is a new character, okay? And it is a new character that is on the listings that we will unlock in a second. Yeah, some people saying Sundown, Cowboy Viper. I love all these ideas. Fallout Ghoul, yeah. Clint Eastwood, hilarious. But no, this is a new character for the G.I Joe Classified series. I imagine, obviously, some elements of reuse, like the pistols, the holsters, the hat. But other than that, I'm pretty sure this is going to be not new all from top to bottom, but a new head sculpt, new other elements. As you can see, it looks like he's rocking a poncho as well. So there's been a lot of talk about this being some sort of like, could it be your sort of, your gaucho, your Mexican cowboy style? Could it be a indigenous American, possibly? Could it be something along those lines? We'll find out sooner or later, won't we? But this one looks to be the new character that's joining the sort of like Wolf Spider Leon, yes, but there'll be a head sculpt on this one, I imagine. I assume, anyway. He's got a tomahawk as well, yeah, so that is not a bad shout. So possibly that could be hinting at, that's why I did mention Indigenous American as well. But yeah, exciting times, this one, that we get new characters in the line. They did mention new characters coming, and that's why this is blacked out. Do you honestly think they'd have blacked this out if it was Wild Bill? No. So yeah, so just to kind of like make that one a clear, delineation, there is a retro Wild Bill coming. and that this is not it. So there you go. Right. So that's all we can really talk about on this one, because there's not much else to go on other than the fact that he's got the cowboy hat and a poncho by the looks of it. Because if you zoom in, obviously the shape of the torso looks like there is a kind of poncho style thing going on there. And if you zoom in to the right hand side, their right hand side to the left hand side as we look at it, you'll see like the sort of like jaggedy kind of edge that you kind of expect on the frill, the fringe of a poncho style situation. So anyway, there is, I suppose there is a possibility that, because like I said, there is a new character on the wave of 5 mainline figures, right? But could this be Wild Bill as the retro Wild Bill, and they've just added a soft good or a secondary what do you call it, a poncho? That is a possibility. Is it a high possibility? Not really, when you think about what they do on the retro cards, what they do with retro. But we will have to wait and see on this one. Is it the new character or is it the retro Wild Bill? We'll just leave it at that for now. But there is a new character coming, and it's in the mainline wave of 5, so it's possible that will be the case. And yeah, anyway, there you go. But we'll find out. Let's just say that we'll find out very soon. Next, we have Taurus and Red Dog, a 2-pack. Now, we knew this was coming as the 2-pack, of course. This has been known for a long time, so it's great to finally see the actual renders for these. I was surprised that Taurus is slightly shorter than Red Dog. I kind of feel like they've done weird things with the sizes of the Renegades. Now, obviously, Mercer looks a lot shorter. Obviously, he's not that short, but he obviously was made to look a lot shorter, courtesy of the Sarge buck and figure, right? I'm so surprised that they went and did Red Dog and Taurus not the same as Mercer in that sense. But, you know, I guess they're just free to, you know, mess about a little bit with the sizes of these guys. The Renegades always seem to me to be all about the same size. Falcon as well, included in that. Falcon, Red Dog, Taurus, and Mercer all felt like about the same height, same build. But yeah, so I've got to say, I'm surprised they've gone a different way with it. However, the actual figures and designs themselves look great. Loads of accessories. I didn't break the accessories down visually because it was too much messing around, and I wanted to get this, you know, this live going as soon as possible, and I was running out of time. But obviously, you have the backpack with Red Dog, the pistol with silencer as well. He's got 2 new sort of like bat weapons. One is like a really interesting sort of like mace with a you know, kind of like, it's really weird and cool, but again, sort of looks like something Mechanic would use. And then you've got the one underneath it, which is even, actually, if you combine the two, they'd make Mechanic's weapon, wouldn't they? But yeah, it's sort of like a bat with sort of like really interesting cut out detail running all the way up. It's pretty dope. Samoa weapons, says Big Jeff 3. Thank you, Big Jeff. Yes, Samoan style bats. A lot of people are calling this Diet Taurus, it looks like. Circus Strongman, says Dreadnought E. Wilson. Yes, he is. You'd think he'd be a little larger on the larger side, but I don't know, really. I don't really. I guess it's up to interpretation, isn't it? But again, they look great in terms of, you know, what they are and the figures. Lots of alternate hands for him as well. One, of course, is an open hand, so he can hold his NFL American football, which also comes with a kicker stand, which is amazing. So that is removable from the stand, and it will go in his hand. That rhymes. But that's really cool. So yeah, because obviously he is a kicker that got kicked out of the NFL for unnecessary roughness, I believe the term is. But there's also when you and again, it's difficult with the accessories on this one to know exactly who gets who, because I think the pistol is Taurus's in the middle of the two of them there. So I believe that's Tauri's. Red Dog does get that black knife, and I believe Taurus gets the silver knife to the right of that one. And then you've got two rifles, I guess, mix and match for whoever. In that case, they can use either of them. Can use both. They can both use either on that one. So you've got the sort of, is it the stalker weapon, and is that Gung Ho's kind of launcher as well? Another black pistol for Taurus, and then we've got two very interesting pieces here. We've got a very elaborate axe, which I'm here for. That's new, and the scimitar, which is new as well, which is really cool. So Taurus has definitely got some awesome weapons there. I'm into that, and of course alternate hands again. He's got fists and sea grips, whereas Red Dog has got he's got kind of like weapon holding sea grip style hands, one fist and one open hand to obviously hold that American football, which is awesome. So they do get sort of like their own things. Obviously, a backpack for Red Dog is great. Surprising that, yeah, because Mercer's got a backpack. Surprising that Taurus doesn't have one, though. That is a surprise, I guess, because he does have one in his original figure. So it would have been nice to have that one. Circus strongmen were not commonly super large guys. They were just strong. I feel like they just should all be the same height and size, though. Taurus, Red Dog, and Mercer. I know, because also Red Dog was a kicker who was, you know, also not necessarily supposed to be huge people, are they? So I feel like they should all be about the same height and size for that one. Anyway, there you go. A ton of gear for both of them, and we can get a bit closer up on these guys. Red Dog, I'm not sure if that headband, I don't think that headband's removable. It must be molded on. But again, very cool. Definitely a removable necklace though. And the secondary sort of like, it's almost like a back brace, isn't it? That he rocks with the number 1 jersey with the ripped sleeves. So there's a lot of cool stuff on Red Dog to enjoy, and of course the high boots. I'm not sure what legs they are. Again, I am parts blind for sure when it comes to these figures, but very cool nonetheless. And of course his holster with, I believe, is that going to hold the? I think it should hold the like the silencer as well, shouldn't it? The suppressor. Anyway, that's that. Then we get Taurus again. Wonderful head sculpt. Love the beard. Lots like intricate beard going on. The gear looks good. The shoulder pads look good. Secondary looks cool for his, you know, obviously one of his pistols, because he's got 2. So he rocks 2 pistols, and obviously he's got like a holster on the torso, and he's got one on the belt as well, which is really dope. And a knife sheath and all. So he's got storage for all of his miniature weapons. Does this axe go on his back? Maybe. But it would have been nice if he'd had some sort of backpack as well to go with that. Anyway, Taurus on the cod piece as well. How did I not talk about his cod piece? Solid codders, and of course the double belt buckle classic as well. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, Taurus and Red Dog, solid set, a two pack. I'm in, and there they are one more time, just to get all of that good stuff in there. Love it. Anyway, there you go. So we've got the Renegades complete after these two, which is awesome. I suppose, is it complete without Falcon proper? Probably not. It will be complete when we get Falcon. All right, next up, Zanya and the Swamp Skier. I kind of try to hint at this one, but you know, I do try to tell you guys sometimes to read between the lines as much as you can when I can't say anything clearly or obviously. But the tease so obviously was the Swamp Skier ski, was so obvious. And I still had people arguing with me that it was the Polar Battle Bear, the Cobra Wolf. Someone said it was 100% the Cobra Wolf. And I was like, okay, I know it's not that though, but it's cool. You can have that. You can have that, you know, that expectation. That's totally up to you guys. But it was the Swamp Skier all day long. We did know Zanya was coming with the Swamp Skier, but again, couldn't say anything. We can obviously reveal her listing as well later on, which will be cool as well. Now, Zanya, let's go through her section by section first. The classic early 2000s like look going on here, isn't it? Like the kind of the dreads, the green dreads and the kind of choker with the little spikes on it, the lip piercing, all the stuff you expect from that early to mid 2000s kind of fashion sense. And then, of course, yeah, the kind of that Dreadnoks logo, which was synonymous with Image and Devil's Due DDP comics as well, where she kind of made her first sort of appearance as Zartan's daughter. Again, really cool. A lot of, again, sort of like an expected design. She's got the tattoos on her midriff as well, which is pretty dope. Who's the mother if Zartan is the dad? Exactly, Big Jeff. I don't think. Let me think, actually. Was the mother... Now, there was a declassified, Dreadnoks Declassified, which kind of hinted at the mother, but I don't think she's really been, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think here. I think she's in that Dreadnoks Declassified issue. Anyway, she has got an ab crunch mark, but it's the split is up at the top, the shirt. So where the shirt is the torso, the lower torso is a separate piece, if that makes sense. So yeah, she does have an ab crunch. It's just not lower. It's not visible. But anyway, I think she looks great. Love the design on her, and there's the legs as well with the steel toe cap boots, the high boots, the knee pads, kneecaps, and of course the little pouches on the thighs as well. Very cool figure, actually. And again, a great addition to the Dreadnoks. We get a vehicle out of this as well, and we get some other interesting accessories, don't we? We get sort of like what's been really interesting to me is that I've been saying for a while it'd be really cool to do Dreadnought Chaos as a sort of Dreadnought army builder. And in this situation, they've kind of made a female Dreadnought Chaos in Zanya by giving her this awesome little hockey mask head sculpt. Again, like sort of you could make it a Dreadnought army builder in that sense. She's also got sort of shades in the same way that kind of Buzz's round shades, and she's also got goggles to go with the sort of like. Is it worth saying that that's very Dana style? That headgear. So could we be seeing our first ever sort of hint that we might be getting the October Guard in some way, shape, or form? Officially, of course. I know there's been leaks suggesting the October Guard as well. But yeah, could this be the official sort of nod to those leaks? Could possibly be. She also comes with the reuse of Copperhead's pistol with sight on it and the holster for said pistol. And she's also got that kind of shotgun, which I think is Falcon's original one, right? With the little, the butt which folds over. I think that's Falcon's shotgun. Correct me if I be wrong. Alternate fist hands, Dana's headgear. I'm going to call it Dana's headgear just to kind of, make it easier on myself. And that makes me feel like that she's also got removable hair as well, so that you can get the headgear piece on, because that would make sense. So it's almost certainly removable hair piece as well, and the machete, which is also Copperhead reissue, I believe, or reuse, I should say. Yeah, cool, awesome stuff. Nice little loadout actually for Zanya. And again, they always throw in a little sort of curveball with these particular reveals, these figures. And I'm going to say that Dreadnought Chaos sort of hockey mask head sculpt and the Dana style headgear are the two, what they're called, curveballs for me on this one. But there you go, cool stuff. It'd be interesting to see her rocking the goggles and headgear as well, because and just the glasses in general, because I don't recall her doing that. But again, she may have shown up in the comics wearing that. I don't know, Leon. I was just saying that as you commented, does she wear goggles in the comic? Not a clue on that one. Yeah, anyway. And of course, we have the Swamp Skier, which is pretty cool. Lots of deco on this too. So you've got obviously the black ski pit parts. You've got the kind of green body. You've got the kind of not metallic, but silver sort of engine element. and grey little seating section as well. And of course, that chameleon logo tampo on there as well, which is really dope. Great to finally have this in the line. I'm excited again to see what it looks like in reality. You know, the renders don't always do everything complete justice, guys. So don't you worry. I'm sure there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot to see on the 14th. Is all I'll say on that one, because I've already said it like 100 times. Anyway, yeah. Comic Book Bin says, because again, this is something I didn't really think of, but yeah, the extra Zanya head will go either on Vipra or a female blue ninja. It look kind of cool on either of those. Yeah, I think it's a good shout. White says the chameleon looks a little plain. Hope they put some type of wash over the silver engine section. Well, they don't necessarily tend to always do that sort of stuff. I think it'll be as it is, as you see it. But again, it'll look a lot different in real life. You know that. You know that. Toy Bounty Hunter says, might buy 2 of these and sell the second Zanya. Well, I might get 2 and just have, you know, an army builder Zanya with a hockey mask on. Anyway, really cool. And we finally get the swamp skier revealed. And then finally, last but certainly not least, Ninja Force Zartan. So I will say as well, while we just talked about Zanya, I've been officially confirmed that is a Fanmazon release. So Zanya, sorry, let me get the visual going so that I'm not confusing people. Zanya will be a Fanmazon release. Zanya and the Swamp Skier is a Fanmazon situation. That's Fan Channel and Amazon, okay? And then Zartan, here, Ninja Force Zartan, is Target exclusive, okay? We've been saying that for a while now with all the listings and what have you. But yeah, and everything else we looked at is all mainline currently. And of course, yeah, Ninja Force Zartan. This was one I was excited for seeing as up there with Airtight and the Hydro Viper for me in terms of excitement. And what an absolute banger of a figure they have produced here. Like just so excited. And that is, you know, obviously there's a lot to get into here, guys, because as we break this figure down, we'll look at the figure first. First off, amazing head sculpt. Love the hair. Love the makeup, the orange eye covering there. Very, very cool. And again, the zip up kind of like sleeveless biker jacket is phenomenal. On one side, you've got like chainmail. On the other side, you've got an actual orange chain. I'm just here all day for this. And of course, you've got like a shredder style, although the blades are going the other direction. Shredder style gauntlet on one arm, and then a kind of, you know, spiky wrist bracelet on the other. A really cool belt buckle, and yeah, and of course the green and purple kind of situation going on the pants and shins and what have you. Just absolutely phenomenal. He's got the storage on his left thigh. Now, I assume, or did immediately assume, it was for the 2 little knives, just like the figure the original figure has. But yeah, it is. It's the 2 knife. Yeah, I assumed correctly because I hadn't zoomed in to see the 2 very clear. There you go. Sections for both those 2 little knives to go in. So again, just like the original figure, having those 2 knives and I'll show you the 2 knives there on the left hand side. So the 2 little kind of throwing knives, the little loops that you can spin around your fingers, they go into the left thigh piece. He has is that new, or did that I don't recognize that one with the kind of blade at the top and the little kind of handle blade as well. It kind of looks a little similar to what we got with Slice and Dice. Maybe it is a Slice and Dice reuse, and either way, he then gets 2 bladed weapons, and I'm telling you right now, that one on the right hand side, as we look at it, the smaller one, is 100% Spearhead and Max knife, isn't it? So if we don't see Spearhead and Max based on this, then I mean, it's got to be, hasn't it, Callister? I'm going. I mean, we don't have any. Just full disclosure, I don't have any Spearhead and Max information. Haven't heard that they're coming this year, but they might. But with that particular dagger, it's just like it's got to be locked in, hasn't it? Just as Flash is sort of locked in with Glenda's equipment. And the fact that Flash should have been out last year. So I don't know when he's coming, but he should have been out last year. But yeah, the Spearhead and Max situation, like that has to be that's just too. Why give him that knife if you're not doing Spearhead and Max? Just that's screaming to me. That is. Anyway, cool knives, two very cool weapons. I like that a lot. He's got a kind of like backpack piece to sheath both of those, and he's also got the quiver with the compound bow, which I believe has a removable section, so you can have the bow in sort of relaxed mode as well, rather than pulled back. So you can probably take that off the bow and then slot in the other piece that you see in the top right hand corner. That's what I assume that is. And just to make it like as if the bow was kind of relaxed, not in full pullback. So I'm really, really excited about the fact they've included that. And it looks really, really cool and will make that figure look good in both kind of ways of displaying it. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, it's when you can't really do a sort of real bow that actually works in that way, I think that's a really good way around it to so that the figure isn't always having to pull it back all the time. So good to have those bow options. I like it a lot. Yeah, so that is your Target exclusive Ninja Force Zartan with a possible pre-tool hint at Spearhead and Max, which would be amazing. Anyway, listings. Here we are, guys. We got through it. We got through it all in just, well, getting get there in under an hour, which is nice. So let's go through the listings, what we know so far. So as you can see, a lot of yellow has been unlocked on the left-hand side. So Dark Cat is Airtight. He's on that listing there. Hydro Viper below him is Dr. Viper. Overkill is Schlub, as far as we understand. So that one I did actually think for a little while it was going to be Flash, but it's not. So that one is Overkill. And then Past Master is the new character, which I've unlocked on there as new character before obviously we get the full confirmation on the reveal and all that kind of stuff with the name and what have you. And I've unlocked that one on there just so it's unlocked and just to indicate that that is what we believe is the outline, covered outline figure that they revealed today. So that's 4 of the 5. That means there's the Enforcer is still to be unlocked in red at the top of that list, of course. So will we see what that is on the weekend, on the 14th? Almost certainly we'll see who that particular figure is. Now, if we move over, we've also unlocked all the way to the right-hand side, the HER Zandor listing, which is Zanya with the Chameleon. And that is a Fanmazen, of course. And of course, Taurus and Red Dog, we knew were Fanmazen 2-pack. And, or that's what we have on the listings for them. And that hasn't changed as far as we know. And Ninja Force Zartan is still there as target, of course. And that completes all the listing updates based on what we have with those reveals. Still don't know where the 3-pack goes. Yes, we know who Enforcer is. We can't say until it gets revealed, Medic. Any of these number 200 are Stanley? I don't know. I've lost count, mate. I imagine so. Chester Deadly says, honestly, these are all hitting the target for me. Amazing work from Lenny and crew. Going to be an exciting year for the line. Cheers, Chris. Thank you, Chester. And yes, absolutely same for me. Ted says the Enforcer, a late change. No, they just haven't revealed it. They revealed 4 of the 5 last time without all 5 being revealed. So yeah, don't worry. They're holding back a little bit on reveals. So they've got some extra stuff to show you on the Toy Fair as well. So don't you worry, it will be revealed, but they're holding back on that one particular. Jason says if he's got butterflies deep enough to hold that bow drawn properly, seems like the vest gets in the way. No, what for Zartan? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know really. So yeah, I don't think they would, because they'll be on his back. So I don't know how the butterfly knives will be on his thigh. So I don't know how they'll be in the way. Anyway, I'm not sure what you mean on that one, Jason. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see, won't we? We'll have to see him all geared up. Is Enforcer a new character too? No, not a new character, Callister. Hydro Viper is much more subdued, says David. You say that, but it's actually there's a lot going on in that deco. And they've definitely they it's not like as crazy bright as it could be, I guess, but I think it's the right way to go with it. Tactics says, after seeing Airtight, I now want classified Tiger Force Airtight. Puro, yes, indeed. Will they all be on Pulse? Yes, everything goes on Pulse. Dreadnought E, with the but obviously the caveat there is that only really Pulse members get that opportunity to have that first 12 seconds to get in and order the exclusives, which don't last very long because they have much smaller quantities at that stage on the site, so that obviously the exclusive is more prominent on the Target website and Walmart and fan channels and with Amazon and what have you. Anyway, Medic says, I met Emily this summer in Toronto. When I said we needed Flash this year, she just gave me a sly smile. Fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully. Hydro Viper makes me really want to see what they do with the Heat Viper. Same Scott. No hardball yet, says Chris. No, not yet. That would be cool, though. Bad Wolf says, Thunder Machine, I think, would be too small for HasLab. I think it will be MTO. We'll have to see on Thunder Machine. I do think that they'll have to do the Thunder Machine. It's too iconic not to do. If you're doing all the other vehicles and you're doing Snowcats and you're doing, friggin' all of those kind of things, the Thunder Machine, they have to find a way to do the Thunder Machine. So it'll happen some way or another, whether it's MTO, whether it's retail, exclusive, that kind of thing. Like whatever it may be, they'll find a way to do it. Robert says, someone is a Dolphins fan on the Joe team. Wetsuit looks like Merino, and Red Dog like Tua with the number 1 on his shirt and the Samoan. Amazing. Yeah, well, he's always had the number 1 on his shirt, and yeah, I mean, maybe they have kind of looked at those particular players. Maybe there is a Dolphins fan on the team, who knows. Xandar must be Zanya's mother. Ooh, that's a weird one. Well, I'm not biologically, but yeah, I don't know how that would work biologically. But Xandor, you're saying, Leon, not Xandar. I'm being an idiot. I was kind of a little bit irked when I first thought Xandar. It might be some sort of incestuous thing, but no, Xandor, says Leon, not Xandar. Could be. So you're right in that one. Josh says, quick question, is the black string looking thing with Zartan the non-pullback bowstring? Yes, it is the bowstring at rest. 610 says, the silhouette is not Wild Bill in my opinion. It's definitely a male buck, and I'm thinking Mexican Native American with a serape and a totally new character. Yeah, that's what we're assuming as well. Huntress, it's not Ninja Force Scarlet for the Enforcer, just to let you know. Also, Ninja Force is going to be Target exclusive, so maybe you want to move your thinking over to the right hand side a little bit. The Target exclusives aren't always on Pulse, are they? Yes, they are, just in small amounts. Everything goes up on Pulse in small amounts if it's an exclusive. Everything does. Anyway, sorry, loads of comments, guys. I can't get to all of them. There's too many. I have updated all the other images as well. Not that anyone really cares, but the name only reveals have been minimized dramatically. Iceberg, Deep Six, and Chabang. Iceberg right ahead. So yeah, we can expect, obviously, Iceberg, as we know, is further down the list on here. There he is. He's Hippocampus on the listing. So he's in the next group, the next 5-figure wave, which will probably be Yojo June, that kind of period of time. So yeah, so that's why, he's not been revealed yet. Deep Six is also, well, he is a deluxe figure, and we know he is like after the Cobra La Royal Guard. And considering the Cobra La Royal Guard seems to be ahead of the, that seems to be next. Deep Six is a bit further along in the year, probably again Yojo June sort of time period for him. And then Chabang, we know, is one of two in a 2-pack for the Target exclusives. And considering Zartan is first, then that Chabang and whoever else he comes with will be later in the year. Again, probably in the middle of the year. All right, cool. So that's your name only reveal situation. And then I've updated the digital renders, which has grown massively. And I've connected the Arctic Steel Core with the Drift Viper and the Arctic Saw Viper, because they're in a 3-pack, but also kept them on the same sides. So you've got Joe on the left, Cobra on the right still. We've got the classified unknown situation in the top left. We've got Arctic Steel Core, of course, with that 3-pack I've just mentioned. Red Dog and Taurus now upgraded from name only to digital renders. Chabang Dojo 2-pack. It's not Dojo Michael Taylor, but I'm not going to play that game where I just keep minimizing who it could be, but it isn't Dojo. And Airtight, of course, there on the Joe team. And then on the other side, like as we mentioned, the 3-pack characters with Drift Viper and the Arctic Saw Viper. We have Overkill. We have the Cobra La Royal Guard. We have Hydro Viper, Ninja Force Zartan, which is a Target exclusive, and Zanya with Chameleon, which is a Fanmazon situation. Right then, that is everything. But I'm not going anywhere just yet. We'll have a little bit more time to do a little bit of a Q&A before I leave. But first, a message from our sponsor. Yes, order your Battle Action Force Deluxe Treasury Editions today. You can get them at Skeletron.com in the US, TotalToyBooks.com in the UK and Europe, and Amazon for everywhere else in the universe. Luke says, I thought it was already confirmed that Chabang was coming with Dojo. Nope, not at all. And I know for a fact that he does not come with Dojo. Nothing more sacred than pals. Paul says, Chabang Globulus 2-pack, obviously. More Cobra than Joe, this reveal, says Michael Taylor. Yes, it is kind of weighted that way, but the other figure that is in that 5-figure mainline wave is a Joe, so it'll sort of balance it out a little bit more. So what if you look at the actual, I mean, it's a 2-pack for Taurus and Red Dog, so that's 2 people. The 4 Joes there, and then 4 Cobras at the back. So it's actually quite even. It's actually quite even, isn't it, at the end of the day? 7 reveals, but one of them is a 2-pack for G.I Joe. So it's actually equal, not heavily. It's obviously in the digital renders currently, it's heavily leaning Cobra, but only like 2 figures, because again, one's a 2-pack. I'm glad we're getting new characters in the line. I don't want this line to just be a rehash of 80s stuff, says Montana J21. Yeah, it's great to have little new bits here and there. I think it's fantastic. 610 says, if you haven't read these Battle Action Force compendiums, you are missing out. Agreed. They're amazing. Go check them out. Female Viper this year would be nice, like for real, says Huntress. That would be amazing. Toy Fair is the 14th, question mark, says asks Rancid Dragon. Yes. Is it going to have any YouTube stream or anything anyone know? No. So they've got press at the event, right? And like last year, we'll all be there. We'll be churning out content throughout the day, images. Well, not throughout the day, throughout the evening when they actually do the reveals for the press. So lots of stuff on the floor, and then obviously things like they have like a press event where you go in the back and you see all the product on display, interview the team. So there'll be lots of content coming that day. I don't think there'll be there's no YouTube stream because it's Toy Fair. It's a, how do I put this? I can't remember the term now. It's an industry event. It's an industry sort of trade show. So it's not like it's obviously a little bit more, fan friendly now, but by it's a trade by trade. Bias says, so 2 Joe, 2 Cobra so far for mainline wave. Wonder who the enforcer might be. Friend. It's a friend. It's a Joe. 610. Yeah, done that one. Sorry. I'm glad I hadn't done that one. There are only... Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on them books, says Same Time Toys. They are beautiful, by the way, the deluxe Treasury editions of Battle Action Force. They are stunning. Callus said, there are only 5 to 6 Ninja Force to go, so with 2 2-packs, we can narrow it down. Yes, you can, to some degree, and that's all I'll say about that. Does Airtight have an extra unmasked head? No, but the helmet is removable. So he has an unmasked head, but it's because you remove the helmet. Heavy Metal and Toll Booth are the only left from 85 now. Is that true, James? That's crazy. I would actually love both of them, but to come with their vehicles as well. I hope the silhouette render is actually true and it's an all blacked out gunslinger. Yes, Scott, I genuinely believe that to be the new character that's why it's blacked out. If it was Wild Bill, they wouldn't have blacked it out. And the retro Wild Bill that we know is coming, we've known for a while, and the one that was like the images that were leaked of that Wild Bill were very clearly the retro one. So this is a new character that we assume, we're not assuming. Let's put it this way: it's an educated guess, and with other information involved. And we believe that render with the blacked out character is a new character again. If I'm wrong, I will, I'll come on here and I'll say I was wrong about that. But that is, as far as we know, as far as we're concerned on the full force, that is a new character. I hope the silhouette render is actually true. Yeah, I've done that one. I may have missed this. Does Hydro Viper only come with the 2 hands? As far as we know, Jason, yes. And I think that's a little bit of a... there's a lot of gear with him, and there's a lot of new there. So obviously they were probably having to play a little bit with the budget on that one. So maybe they had to cut some of the alternate hand options. But I do think at least just have one alternate left hand would have been perfect, but they haven't done. I don't think they've done it. Chris, is Action Force comics reprinted as European missions here in US? So Michael, let me give you the quick rundown. Action Force Weekly was a 50-issue run that was to kind of coincide with the Action Force International Heroes rebrand, and that is one sort of group of issues right there. And then we got, after that, Action Force Monthly, which was like 15 issues, and it was a follow-on from the weekly, but obviously it was a monthly, so it came out in monthly installments rather than weekly. Those monthly installments were rejigged as if I've got one right here, G.I Joe European Missions. Now, I say rejigged, they really didn't do much other than put the logo on the cover and then the logos inside. I'll show you while I'm here, just for those that care, and this will only be a short bit of history and information in regards to the deluxe Treasury editions. They're Battle Action Force comics, and they came prior to Action Force Weekly and Action Force Monthly, which, like I said, so that was the Palatoy era Battle Action Force, and then the Action Force Weekly was in 87 and came out with the Action Force International Heroes rebrand of Hasbro G.I Joe, basically. So anyway, yeah, so you get that logo there, and then they changed the interior logo as well, that kind of, that they show with the kind of in the issue. So they changed, that's it. Everything else says Action Force. The text, when if they're talking in like and they mention Action Force in like in just a regular dialogue, it's still in there. The beginning as well, in the main issue, the first issue, it says Action Force like every 5 blooming lines in here. So they 100% all they did was they just changed the logos, the main logo on the cover, and they did very little else, which is crazy. Anyway, there you go. European Missions is the reprint of Action Force Monthly, which came out in like 88. Okay, cool. And all they did was change the bloody logos, and that's wild to me, because considering they then had to print them for the US market, crazy pants. Anyway, there you go. As long as Ace isn't on my shelf, all other years will go unfinished, says Ed. Yes, true. The 2-pack is Ninja Force Scarlet, isn't it, says Lawrence. I can't say. And maybe that's given you enough of a clue. Why did I read that out? Paul says, still need lampreys. Yeah, that would be cool, actually. David says, Chris, when you have the opportunity to look at the new classified items, check the back of the packages, please. Yes, of course. I made that mistake last time. I realized I asked Lenny, can I look at the back of the packages? The moment as I said that and asked to do that, they said, oh, we've got to clear out now, guys. And I was like, no. So yeah, I will make sure 100% to take pictures of the back of all the packages they have on display for sure. Ray's Wanner says muskrat spearhead ? I don't know the question. I don't really understand the question. The figure 6-pack says needs a Cadet Deming in blue CG uniform. That'd be cool. Bayer says it'll be the guy in the room with backpack camera link posted all over the Facebook groups. Huntress says with the Arctic theme this year, it would behoove Hasbro to drop us the October Guard. Probably. And the fact that we've got that little headgear thing in there makes me think that we're probably going to get Dana at some point. I don't know. I will also, I'll either nod, wink, wink if I have an inkling. But in that case, I don't know if Dana's coming or not. But there have been leaks, haven't there? Sort of unofficial leaks that October Guard might be on the horizon. I want Undertow, says Jeremy. Yeah, absolutely. Super Morris says, I don't like the assumption I have nothing better to do on Valentine's. Do you know, it's also my wedding anniversary, so I feel doubly bad, but also, you know, we'll have to make up for it every other weekend and day. A great detail is the mask pops off Overkill and there's the human half droid face, says Big Jeff. Yeah, I would assume that something happens with the classified figure for sure. Next Joe Haslab ? Don't know actually, Raisiner or Ray's Wanner. I don't know. I think Morays is one that a lot of people are kind of touting as a good option. And I would love that, honestly. I'd love a Cobra Moray. It's going to be Cobra this year because we've just had Snowcat. And it does, you know, I think, I mean, I would love an Aspid. That might be a bit of a stretch though, but I think that would be so friggin' cool. And other than that, it's like a bit slim pickings in terms of really cool, massive vehicles for Cobra to do for HasLabs. But you know, we'll find out. We'll find out eventually, won't we? Oh, Leon says those Overkill arms and upper legs must be for IG Destro. I didn't even think about that. I suppose you've got that sort of like, what's the word? Rivet sort of design along the top of the thighs, haven't you? But I don't know. Not a bad shout though. Could be. Yeah, there are a lot of leaks of possible Destro coming as well. There was a stream a couple of weeks after Toy Fair last year. Yes, Jason, that's true. They did do something, didn't they? They might do something again this time. I don't know. Ed says, Target doing Ninja Force makes me so happy. What a great subline for them. Maybe Walmart should pivot to Mega Marines. Giant monster vipers cannot lose. That'd be kind of fun, actually. Jello Ben says, Chris is currently sculpting the spearhead buck as we speak to get it into the line. Now for 85, all we need is listen and fun tripwire. I'm up for that, GL 425. I'm up for that. Medic says, realistically, when should we expect these to have in our hands? September, October? So this would be, yeah, or like maybe sooner than that. It's usually like in the middle of the year, isn't it? Well, they'll want the rhythm to be reveal at the start, and then in the middle of the year, reveal and stuff coming in at the same time, and then at the end of the year, reveal and stuff coming in at the same time. So it's roughly, you'd be looking at like, you know, yeah, you'd be looking at like the middle of the year, I think, for these guys. But August, September, October isn't a bad shout. The figure 6-pack needs an Action Force Blades from a Tripwire figure. That would be cool. Rancid Dragon says, if they let October Guard come out, Horror Show better be the biggest Joe figure yet. He's supposed to be huge, bigger than Road Pig. Yeah, maybe they just do one of a similar size to that. But he would have to be massive, wouldn't he? Definitely. Thank you, Joe Bits, for the super chat. Much appreciated. Did someone say new bits? Noob Cybot Wild Bill. Yeah, that would be kind of fun if it was, but I'm not sure if it will be. But thank you very much for the super chat. We really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Callister says Keel Hall and Lamprey are still needed. Oh, that's true. Keel Hall. I mean, that would be amazing, but you're not going to get flags. But that would be amazing as a single figure. So yeah, more the merrier. I'm not answering that question, Big Jeff. We'll just have to leave. I'm leaving all the Target 2-pack questions hanging now. Sorry. Only figure I'm interested in is Ninja Force. Zartan says McFly 48. Totally fine. That's a good figure to be interested in. I hope the harness that was teased gets revealed soon, says White. Yeah, that you'd expect it to be sooner rather than later, and probably over Toy Fair. Sorry, there's so many comments. I've got to go as well, unfortunately, guys. Sorry I couldn't get to everything. My apologies. I'm just seeing if there are any other questions. I can't see any. Oh, there's one. Does the HasLab have to be Cobra since we had an MTO Cobra vehicle? Could they switch it up to the Joe HasLab? Don't know, Medic, because again, I don't think it'd be working that way, because I think HasLabs would be staggered and I think MTOs would probably be staggered as well. So yeah, I think that's probably how it's going to be. I would assume you get another MTO. I would assume so. Maggot or Mamba could work at some point after Moray and a ridiculous Raven. Agreed, Callister. Actually, good points there. Good points for HasLabs. What do I think of the Motu trailer, RKW? Well excited. Although I'm just annoyed that Jared Leto's involved. But the actual look of the film I think looks phenomenal. I think the designs look cool. The fact they stuck very close to the vintage style is awesome. Kind of excited to see how it all plays out, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm buzzing for it. With that caveat of blooming the Skeletor casting. Skeletor looks amazing, but it's the fact that you can't actually see Jared Leto in any way, shape, or form. Twisted says, can't believe we'll have Cold Slither, Zanya, Ninja Zartan, Road Pig, and Norgahide before Thrasher and the Thunder Machine. I guess, yeah. I guess we've had a lot of interesting things before them. Summer no, says Bias. Yeah, I think in the middle of the year, yeah. Okay. Just seeing if there are any other kind of questions before I leave. Oh, Jersey Ed 22. Thank you very much for the super chat. Again, always appreciate the super chats. Thank you so much. Jersey Ed says, my go-to show for new reveals. Great show. Thank you, Jersey Ed. I appreciate it. I mean, all I'm doing is gas bagging about how excited I am for everything. But yeah, unfortunately. Oh, sorry. So I should say, for those patrons, I did say at the beginning of the show, I should reiterate now, I will not be doing a Q&A today. That I did this at the same usual time so that you had something to enjoy. I will get back to you guys in the week with the Q&A. Okay. So thank you, Jersey Ed, for the super chat. Much appreciated. No Patreon stream later, I'm afraid, guys, just so you're aware. But it will be one in the week, so don't you worry. I will make it up to you. It's just obviously I can't cram it all into today. I've got other things I need to get done. And in actual fact, I do need to leave now. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me, guys, to celebrate our G.I Joe Day, which was happy. Have a brilliant rest of your Sunday. I will be back probably throughout the week with news bursts. I imagine it's going to be quite a busy couple of weeks leading up to Toy Fair with reveals and also other media and stuff. Not other media, what's the word I'm looking for? Other merch tie-ins with other companies. I'm sure there'll be stuff, that other companies are going to be showing off as well, because it is sort of that sort of G.I Joe sort of period. So I may be back in the week with news bursts. I will be back in the week for my Patreon crew. And I will let you know in advance when that's going to happen. That's it from me. Remember, stay fresh, cheese bags. And as always, after 3, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3. Full force. Laters. That's it for this installment of the Full Force News Burst. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. And as always, full force. Make sure you get involved with the discussion by liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. And as always, you can keep up with the show after listening by following on all of our social platforms, links in the description. And if you would like to contact the show, you can message us on any of those platforms with feedback or questions. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to show your support for the show, see your name up in lights on these videos, or enjoy exclusive bonus content, then check out patreon.com/The Full Force Podcast, or click the link on any of the posts this podcast appears in. Full Force.